And I mean, again, we do spoilers on this show and we do jump around. So if you have not seen Casino Royale, strap in, hold on, and hopefully you can follow our wild logic.
And honestly, if you haven't seen all of the James Bond movies, be very aware
Yeah.
that we could end up saying something because even though we're very focused on Casino Royale here, we're definitely going to talk other Bonds.
Absolutely.
Because it's part of a tradition, this movie, and things that came before and things that came after are definitely part of what makes this movie special.
Yeah. I mean, no question. I mean, Sean Connery, originates it, and he was he was not a soft touch. Let's put it that way.
No.
I believe it was in Thunderball. There was a scene that makes me laugh every time. He's at this health spa, and he's in an office, and all these people are attacking him. And this guy just like breaks through a window and he like knocks him out or kills him. I can't remember which. And he takes a telephone receiver and he just like wraps the cord lightly around his neck and lets it dangle.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that you expected from him. That was just like, yeah, you take that, buddy.
Yeah.
And when we had at the end of Casino Royale, so this is Spoiler City, when we have Daniel Craig talking to M on the phone, right? And she's like, how are you doing with the loss of Vesper? He's very cold.
Yeah.
He's just
when he
like,
said, I was just like, what?
Yeah, like I remember when we were in the theater and he was just like, no,
what
I
he
don't
says,
care.
She says, if you need more time, then you can take more time. And he says, why do I need more time? The job's done and the bitch is dead.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with him that is different to me than Sean Connery. Sean Connery had like the bruisery quality, the rough around the edges quality. Timothy Dalton had the same thing, I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, like Timothy Dalton was a great Bond without a very great script. I think that he was kind of one of my other favorites, which makes me super in the minority. But I really liked how he was kind of like a tough guy, and not like super slick like the Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan.
Well, he did have some smoothness to him.
He did. No, I'm not saying he didn't, and he like cleaned up good.
Yeah.
Too, but at the same time, like License to Kill is very much like a going rogue kind of a movie.
Yeah, I mean that's,
and I don't. Yeah, I mean that's like that's what Timothy Dalton brought to it for me.
That was the only rated R movie thus far.
Yeah,
was License to Kill, and that was a big change.
Oh, but I was talking about something I forgot. Sorry. So what I was saying was, even though I think Daniel Craig kind of brings back like that Sean Connery rough around the edges thing, he is like way more emotional than Sean Connery.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Sean Connery was like totally like love him and leave him type.
Yes.
And Daniel Craig's James Bond like falls in love with people. Twice, big time.
It's huge, yeah.
His relationship with Vesper is very much like he has really fallen for this woman. And later with Madeline and the other movies, it is kind of like the same thing. Although, in my opinion, with Vesper, it feels deeper in a weird way.
That's the love of his life, in my opinion.
That's kind of what I feel too. And like I think with the further movies, they were kind of trying to convince us that Madeline was, but I don't know if I believe that.
No, I feel that Vesper is the one that he'll always have in his heart. Yeah. Well, again, I'm going to Spoiler City, so strap in, guys. This is major spoilage on the Daniel Craig front jumping forward.
Major
spoilage. So, yeah, when we have the situation where, Madeline has his kid later, there's like a family aspect, and so I feel that his connection with Madeline, is there and it's strong, and then they have a child, and that brings it to a completely higher level than what he had with Vesper. Because with Vesper's relationship, you felt like they were just on the cusp of him, getting out of the business. He actually sends in his resignation
Yeah.
at the end of Casino Royale, and he is ready to quit and just be with her. And he says to Vesper, you need to find a regular job because I don't know how to do anything normal. He's ready to do
But
that.
yeah, I just felt like, in a weird way, it almost felt like a first love.
Hmm.
Like maybe he had never actually been in love with somebody before, even though he's old.
Yeah.
He's not like a 15-year-old.
He never opened up. That was the big thing.
His whole thing was he always was with married women or women who had another commitment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of almost like a first love, like that kind of crazy feeling of a first love that he has with her. And the whole thing is that she's kind of keeping secrets the whole time.
That's the hard part, yeah.
So, oh man, it's also just so good because like Daniel Craig and Eva Green have super chemistry.
Their chemistry is so fire that
you just believe it.
Yes, and it's the chemistry that he has with her is unrivaled in my opinion.
Yeah,
throughout the series.
I fully agree.
Even with Madeline, and it's I just feel that the reason that he's able to move on, again, we're going to No Time to Die, guys, and he is saying goodbye to Vesper is because, he's ready to move on to that next stage.
Yeah, but it's taken like years
yes.
for him to be able to do that.
And it's still there. And if I'm not mistaken, the piece of paper that he has, he writes, "Forgive me."
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Forgive me.
Well, because Vesper chooses to die at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Because she has a lot of guilt over what she's done, and she's, allowed this money to get back into the hands of terrorists, and because she was trying to save the person she was in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And even with that, which is very clear what her motivations were, Bond still feels like it was his fault. He could have done more.
Yeah.
He feels like it's his responsibility, and he continues to feel that for years.
Yeah, and he never forgives himself. He goes into this rage that we see, that we see at the end of the film, and then carries through Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Just this burning rage for revenge, as if like this body count is somehow going to fill this massive hole.
Yeah.
That was filled by Vesper.
And Daniel Craig fully sustains that.
Sure does.
Like, even though I think there's a general consensus that people don't really like Quantum of Solace that much, I actually did when I first saw it. And then
Same here.
When we watched it again, I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe I can see where there's weaknesses. But Daniel Craig is not that weakness. Daniel Craig sustains that revenge feel like the whole time. His intensity does not waver or wane.
Yeah.
He always has that fire, and it's pretty amazing. And again, these are the reasons why I also consider him my favorite Bond, because I think that he is not making this a simple thing. Like, I think that people have a tendency to want to simplify the idea of James Bond.
Sure.
That he's just like this guy who's a spy, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get the job done, and he's going to, hook up with chicks and, drive cool cars and shoot guns and do gadgets and all this kind of neat stuff. But with Daniel Craig, there is, so much under the surface that he brings that it just makes it a better, richer experience for me to watch his performance in these movies.
I fully agree. And that's what he lays down, this base of this character in Casino Royale. I feel like Casino Royale is where we get to see the most inside of James Bond.
Yeah.